Sharon, we're bracing for a bit more rain and a bit more snow, but as we head into tomorrow, things are about to change. But that doesn't mean we're not going to see rain into the overnight hours, and we still have leftovers in store as well. We're going to time it out for you as we get a look at Long Beach this evening. Few drops on the lens, but it is looking a little drier in that shot. Not dry whatsoever, though. Most of the Southland's looking at a few drops here and there, even a few heavier downpours, and snow is still really the big story tonight. Let's zoom in on those spots. You're going to see snow is still the story from Big Bear all the way to Yucaipa, all the way up to Crestline. We're looking at snowy conditions. Getting a closer look at where we're seeing that snow, you're going to see closer to Yucaipa as we head over to Wildwood Canyon Road. We're seeing that snow. East County Line Road as well. We're looking at very snowy conditions really coming down there pretty hard. As we take you to Majeska Canyon, we were looking at a little bit of rain. We're looking at a little bit of rain snow mix in the foothills just above Santa Margarita Parkway in Orange County. So those snow levels are dropping very low. In fact, Palmdale at 2,900 feet got 1 inch today, and we're still counting. This was your official number, unofficial number actually, a little earlier this evening, but we are expecting to see more. Your Lake Hughes rain total or snow total, 4 inches in Lake Hughes, in case you're wondering, is just above 3,000 feet. Fraser Park at 4,500 feet, you've gotten 1 inch so far, but you're expecting more in Big Bear. This is the big whammy, almost 7,000 feet, 13 inches of snow. More on the totals and what to expect for the rest of the night coming up. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that.
And your heart goes out to them. I mean, they've just had terrible luck where weather's concerned. And here we are again.
And that one guy in that story said it's no joke. It really is no joke.
It really is.
It's on lockdown back in the Northeast.
And they're advising everybody to stay in because they say if you go outside, you're going to be completely disoriented.
Sure. That's for their own safety, no question.
Exactly. And here at home in our local mountains, we're seeing snow as well. Our live shots look not quite like that, but we are getting snow in some of our live shots. We saw Sarai Fidel earlier and Brittany Hopper. It's cold out soon. Things should start to die down a little bit, but we've seen not only a foot of snow, we've seen maybe up to 30 inches in some spots, so very impressive. Here at home, we're also dealing with our fair share of snow. In fact, we've gotten over a foot for Big Bear, which is pretty impressive. Other spots in the lower elevations just getting a few inches, but still very impressive nonetheless. So as we get a look at radar, you're still going to see rain out there. You're still going to see snow out there as well. In fact, over the mountains right here, we're still dealing with not just flurries, but pretty steady snow. Big Bear Lake getting a little bit of a break, but we're still looking at a few flurries there as well. As we take you into Orange County, you're going to see Silverado Canyon Road getting a little bit of rain snow mix in the lower elevations there. And as we take you to spots like take a look right here at La Sierra Avenue 91, we're dealing with some heavier downpours, a darker green showing you just that. As we make our way up into Riverside and Rubidoux, we're looking at some steady showers as well, and that could continue through the overnight hours here. We're also tracking a few cells that are sitting right offshore closer to Long Beach. In the next hour or so, we're expecting to see more rain. In an hour and a half, Orange County expecting to maybe get some heavier downpours. Lakewood all the way up to Long Beach in the next half hour, expecting even more rain in the forecast. We're going to jump ahead to your 5-day forecast right here and just want to show you that we're drying out for the weekend and we're clearing out by the time we head into next week. Rick and Sharon, back to you. We had some hail at work actually earlier today, so everybody pretty much got a little bit here and there. We got a lot of reports of hail and we got a lot of reports of snow and rain and thunderstorms, and that's continuing to be the case out there. As we take you outside right now, we're taking you to the Santa Monica Pier where it's a little quieter now and we're not looking at rain quite there, but we could see just a little more as we head into the overnight hours. As we get a look at radar, you're going to see not a whole lot sitting to our north, but eventually that could hit us into the overnight hours here. And as we get a closer look at what we're working with in terms of rain and snow, you're going to see a decent amount in the 3-hour loop. We've been looking at plenty of rain, plenty of snow. It's a little quieter now and things are starting to move to the south, but still not completely gone. Take a look at Big Bear right here. We're still dealing with some snow. This entire area over the mountains dealing with snow. In fact, getting a little bit of rain snow mix in Yucaipa. The Grapevine, a big concern for us this evening. At this point, things have calmed down for us, even though we're still getting some flurries over Fraser Park. We've gotten a couple of inches there. And as we get a look at radar right here, you're going to see this particular cell sitting offshore. It's a little heavier, could bring some heavier rain into Orange County, into Costa Mesa, Irvine, and Santa Ana as well. We will continue to track these cells for you and the snow. That's all coming up in just a bit. Rick, Sharon, back to you.
But it's wintertime, so it's kind of normal,
Supposed to be like this.
It's supposed to be like this. Yeah, rain, hail, snow, thunderstorms earlier today. Now that it's sort of cooled down, we're not seeing any convection out there, just meaning that instability that leads toward the thunderstorms. We're done with that. But we're not done with the rain, and we're not done with the snow, and it's still windy in some spots. Long Beach looking calm in the shop, but we are bracing for more cells to come in. And with that, let's take you right to radar. Take a look right here. We've seen rain and snow over the last few hours. You're going to see everything starting to push southward, but we're still looking at the remnants in the forecast. Widespread snow over Big Bear, spanning into Yucaipa, actually looking at a little bit of rain, snow mix in the area there. The Grapevine has calmed down a little bit, even though we are dealing with some snow over Fraser Park still as we speak. And there are a few cells sitting offshore, just off PCH, off the Orange County coastline, that may eventually push into our forecast in the next hour or so. Laguna Beach probably getting hit in the next 45 plus minutes, and just over an hour, Aliso Viejo might be getting some heavier downpours. Snow total wise, pretty impressive. Palmdale, snow totals an inch. But why does that sound impressive? It's because we're at 2,900 feet in Palmdale. We usually don't get snow there, so it's a rarity, and it did happen earlier today, and we could continue to see more in the foothills, even below 2,000 feet in some spots. Lake Hughes, just about 3,200 feet, 4 inches of snow there. Fraser Park at about 4,500 feet. The unofficial number is an inch, but we have more coming in right now. In Big Bear, you got over a foot already in Big Bear, just so you know, is just under 7,000 feet at resort level there. You'll see rainfall actually amounting to just a few hundredths in most spots. Southgate, though, just under a quarter. Laguna Hills, under a quarter as well. Long Beach, 0.08 of an inch, and downtown, 0.07 of an inch. As we get a look at your watches and warnings right here, the pink indicating that winter storm warning, that's still in effect. We also have a winter weather advisory indicated by the purple on your screen, and we're also looking at a coastal flood advisory as well. So we've got a lot of advisories and warnings to speak of. That winter storm warning continuing to stay in effect through 10 o'clock tonight. Some of the warnings expiring early in the morning. We could continue to see snow over the next few hours here. That winter weather advisory also staying in effect until 10 o'clock tonight, and we are continuing to deal with snow as we speak. And we do have a coastal flood advisory with the storm. We've been looking at very high tides, and with that we could see some flooding along the coast and dangerous conditions. We're talking rip currents along the Orange County coastline. That wind advisory actually expired earlier than we thought for the basin. We did see about 35+ mile-an-hour wind gusts earlier today. We're still bracing for scattered showers. 5 to 13 inches of snow around resort level. As we mentioned, Big Bear actually getting 13 inches. Snow levels still dropping, still cold, getting down to 2,000 feet. Could see 1 to 3 inches in the foothills. As we showed you, we're already up to 1 inch and 2 in some spots. 6 to 8 inches above 4,000 feet and 2 to 6 inches between 3 and 4,000 feet. So snow totals are generally impressive with the storm. Rain totals, again, not so much. Some spots getting a little more than others, but still looking at drier conditions for everybody as we head into tomorrow. Partly cloudy by Sunday, more sunshine and warmer as we head to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Rick and Sharon, back to you.
All right, Ev, thanks.
Absolutely, lots of photo ops out there, and we do appreciate the pictures of the grapple and the hail and the snow from earlier today. And we're still going. We're not done yet. Radar showing you snow and rain out there, the 3-hour loop showing you a lot of snow and rain that's passed through the area, but we're still looking at a few leftover cells. In fact, let's zoom in. We're going to take you to the Grapevine where things have calmed down, but we were dealing with closures and we were also dealing with snow. Right now, Fraser Park has let up a little bit, but we have seen a little bit of snow there. A couple inches at this point unofficially, but officially a little less than that. As we get a closer look right here, closer to Yucaipa, we're still looking at a little bit of rain-snow mix. We've got reports of rain earlier today, and along Oakland Road, we're still dealing with snow in the forecast. I said rain, but I meant to say snow. Yucaipa did get reports of snow earlier today. You'll see right here closer to Lebec and Gorman, things have finally started to settle down, and that's going to continue to be the case overnight, but we're not ruling out the chance of a drop or two of rain. And again, we're still dealing with a little bit of it. We did see a little more rain snow mix right here closer to the 79, but at this point things have started to calm down a little bit as you make your way toward Murrieta. You'll see watches and warnings still a factor tonight. The wind advisories have expired for the basin, but we're still dealing with windy conditions in the desert, and we're still looking at snowy conditions overnight. Take a look right here. That winter storm warning actually just expiring for the San Bernardino County mountains. That was taken down, but you will see to our south we're dealing with it, and also to our north as well. Actually, it looks like we still have it in effect for the LA County mountains, but it's just the IE that's starting to get a little break from the advisory, but not from the snow. So we're going to continue to track that snow for you, and we've got your East Coast snowstorm forecast coming up in just a bit. Back to you. All right, very busy indeed, and we do want to actually take you right to radar, and as we do, we're getting a look right here at all of the snow that the Northeast is dealing with. It's pretty impressive as you take a look from New York all the way up until Maine. We're looking at blizzard warnings out there, expecting a lot of the snow to fall into the overnight hours into tomorrow morning as well. By the end of the weekend, there should be some relief, but again, it's going to be a pretty long 24 hours here. Take a look from Montauk all the way to Manhattan. We're dealing with whiteout conditions, and all the way up into Boston as well. In fact, we've seen over a foot of snow in some spots in the metro areas and some of the mountain communities. We're looking at 30 inches of snow, so very impressive all the way up until Maine. Again, we are looking at blizzard warnings all up and down the Northeast at the moment. We will continue to track the snow out there, and we're tracking snow here at home as well. We've gotten our fair share. Big Bear, in fact, 13 inches just today and counting. So we will continue to show you what snow totals look like coming up in a little bit. And we'll show you what we can expect into the overnight hours here on the West Coast. And again, just a little bit. Back to you. All right. And here at home, we're bracing for more snow potentially and some rain out there. We'll have the latest coming up.
Well, we have the Vietnamese festivals going on this weekend.
Lunar New Year's big weekend.
New Year, and so it would be wonderful to have some nice weather.
Yes, and we've got a lot of outdoor events planned for that.
Exactly.
And good news for that.
Yay.
It's going to be dry.
Nice.
It's a little chilly, so if you plan on celebrating outside, I would say bring a jacket because it will be quite cold. But again, it's dry, so that's going to make things a lot easier for a lot of us as we head into the weekend. We're still looking at a little bit of rain and a little bit of snow out there as well. That's still a factor, but things are starting to wind down a little bit for in the mountains. 45, that's right here at the Broadcast Center in Studio City, actually 46 right now. As we get a look at radar, you're going to see a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain, but a lot of it already passing through, even though we do have a few leftovers. The Grapevine looking a lot better, but Fraser Park still dealing with snow in the pink on your screen, indicating a little bit of a rain-snow mix. As you carry northward on the I-5 right there, you're going to continue to see rain, so that snow turns to rain eventually, but again, not seeing a whole lot of it right now. We're also tracking a few cells sitting offshore off the Orange County coastline, and you'll see over the next half hour, next hour, even hour and a half, we will continue to see some rain. We could see some heavier downpours in spots like Dana Point, Laguna Niguel, Mission Viejo, and Irvine, so we will continue to track those cells offshore for you. You'll see watches and warnings in effect as well, still dealing with winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories, and a coastal flood advisory. You'll see that winter storm warning in effect through 3 a.m. That's for the LA County mountains. It's expired for the San Bernardino County mountains, still in effect for the Riverside County mountains. And that winter weather advisory also still in effect. So we could continue to see snow, with those snow levels rather dropping down to 2,000 feet. It will be that cold out there. We also have that coastal flood advisory along the Orange County coastline through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we've got scattered showers. We're expecting maybe a few more inches here or there, but for the most part, the brunt of it fell earlier today. We did pretty good. In fact, Big Bear topped out at 13 inches, and we could still get a little more. That was the unofficial number. Snow level still dropping to 2,000, and we still could see about 6 to 8 inches above 4,000 feet. For the valleys in the Inland Empire, drier but cool over the next couple of days with more sunshine into next week. Maybe a flurry left over for the mountains. Other than that, sunshine with 30s and 40s. Lena and Sylvia, back to you. Well, we're still looking at rain, snow, and not looking at the hail now. Things have died down. We did see some convection earlier from the heat we saw during the day. Not a whole lot of it, but it did prompt the thunderstorms in the forecast. Now just leftover rain and snow as we get a look at radar. There's a little bit sitting to our north, but we're generally looking at the tail end of the storm right now. So as we get a look at your 3-hour radar loop, you'll see rain over the last few hours, but things have really started to dwindle down even in the way of snow. We saw widespread snow over Big Bear just a little bit ago, but now things have really calmed down. Things have calmed down for Lake Arrowhead all the way down to most of the San Bernardino County mountains. In fact, that winter weather warning was lifted. We're still looking at some snow over Fraser Park up the 5 right there, but other than that, already looking at calmer conditions, but very cold conditions in the Grapevine. Tracking a few cells offshore that could make their way into Orange County in the next hour or so. Other than that, most of the rain moving towards San Diego County and to our east as well. We did see a decent amount of snow. Palmdale at about 2,900 feet. We did see an inch. So this is impressive because snow levels were low, but spots like Big Bear, the unofficial number was 13 inches. Big Bear is just under 7,000 feet, and we're still counting because we did see more snow after that number came out. So we will have those official numbers coming up in the next 24 hours, and we will have more on your weekend forecast coming up in just a bit. Rick and Sharon, back to you. Well, Rick and Sharon, we're going to talk about the East Coast. We're going to talk about our forecast here at home. But first, we're taking you outside to the Santa Monica Pier where it's dry. And actually, a few people are enjoying this Friday night out there. Temperatures are cool for us. We're at 45 degrees. That's right here at the Broadcast Center in Studio City. As we get a look at radar, the brunt of the rain and snow sitting to our east, our south, and just a few drops to our north. So we're still in for that chance as we carry on through the next few hours. As we get a look at radar here at home, take a look. A little bit of snow left over for Fraser Park. Just a few drops here and there, but for the most part, we're drying out, and the brunt of that rain is sitting offshore and to our south. Fraser Park right here, just a closer look at you. You'll see just a few flurries right here along the 5, but other than that, things have really calmed down from where we were earlier tonight. Back on the East Coast, though, a very different story. It's going to be a long night for the Northeast. We're looking at blizzard conditions and warnings through the overnight hours and through the morning hours as well. Back here at home, though, we're still dealing with those watches and warnings. We've got winter storm warnings, winter weather advisory still in effect, and also looking at dangerous conditions along the Orange County coastline. We could see some flooding along the coast, rip currents as well, and windy conditions to our east. That winter storm warning in effect through 3 a.m. for the LA County mountains and the Riverside County mountains. Snow levels are down to almost 2,000 feet, but the big question mark is, will we see more snow? At this point, doesn't look like we'll see a whole lot of it. Temperatures are very cold out there tonight. That's the next big story. 20s, 30s, 40s, 40 in Pasadena, 21 in Wrightwood, 31 in Lancaster, and up in the mountains, we could stand to get down into possibly the single digits tonight. Earlier today, we made it to 55 in downtown, so we were far below average. Average is 68 degrees for this time of year. And over the next 24 hours, we're still cool. We could still see a leftover shower. We're waking up to some clouds and sun in 40s, 50s by the afternoon, pretty much across the board. 55 in Riverside, Irvine at 56, Lancaster 51. Oxnard, 58 degrees. Let's jump back to Futurecast right here. I want to show you what we're expecting into the overnight hours, and you're going to see not a whole lot. The latest model run showing us mostly dry conditions, most of the rain and snow sitting to our south, but we're not ruling out the chance of a raindrop or a flurry even into the morning hours. Looks like we will see more sunshine, but we could see a little bit of cloud cover out there as well. And generally, we are keeping temperatures below average, at least for now, but we are bracing for some big changes in the forecast. As low pressure continues to move east and snow levels continue to drop tonight, we're going to start to brace for warmer temperatures. Remember, chance of snow or rain not out of the question for tonight, but we do have a nice warm up on the way, and we are bracing for a lot of sunshine, especially as we head into next week. That's for the basin in Orange County. Same thing goes for the valleys in the Inland Empire. For the mountains, maybe a flurry in the morning hours. Remember, snow levels down to 2,000 feet, but sunshine for the rest of the week. And for the coast, we're in the 50s, turning to the 60s by your work week. And finally, for the deserts, 50s, eventually turning to the 60s, calling it partly cloudy, and then calling it sunny as we kick off your work week. Rick and Sharon, back to you.